Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this should be the last part, the third video for the Outlander. We are in the temple, the Wellspring Temple, where we shall find the Guardian, and we're going to kick Grell's butt, or so I hope. Oops, wrong button. There we go. See, they're not quite used to how the vault thing works, so I kind of vaulted myself right into the enemy instead of away from them. I'm used to picking my target location, not the location I want to move away from. Couple rare enemies here. Let's go ahead and get my mana back up. Where do you think you're going? Taking a little longer to kill things. I don't exactly have very good weapons right now. I thought I'd hit the other direction. Alright, I need some additional damage here. Try and get my charge bar leveled up as well. Huh. Sheesh. I think I really should have gotten a better pistol or gun. 'Cause that took a lot out of me. I'm just glad I'm ranged and have a bunch of escapes. That vaulting and trapping them and all that really kind of saved my bacon, as it were. Alright. What can I put into my skills that will help out in this situation? That's knockback, but I'm pretty much vaulting. I don't really need that as much now. Kind of interested in these banelings. Yes, I called them banelings. They only fight for 10 seconds, though. Granted, you can bring them up, but that's much later. If I were worried about a long-term build, I might actually look at that. This is tough. I can get my that off. That'll bounce twice. Let me get my charge up. Alright, trap him. Sheesh. Might be in range, but the enemy's got some rangers too. There we go. Try and get my charge bar up. Okay. It's working a little bit differently than I anticipated. Sometimes it moves me opposite of where my cursor is, and sometimes it doesn't. Yay for my fame. I'm going to take that second weapon off and see if I can do more damage with a one-handed pistol. Because I really think that second one is holding me back a little.
I'm badly wounded.
Your pet is badly wounded.
These pistols have kind of a small range to them, actually, I'm noticing. They only go so far. They don't even go the full range of my screen. But fire off some multi-shots there. God, 1 damage. That was horrible. Botch, 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 botch. It's like sometimes I'll do 1, sometimes I'll do 19, sometimes I'll do 50. I'm not really following exactly why it is, but that seems to be how it works. Alright.
You have become more experienced.
I like doing 1 damage, don't I? Really? Okay. Okay, what do I have? What does... Weapon damage is increased by strength, huh? Okay, I'm going to level up the glaive. Do I have another point? I do. One more into the passive. I don't think it's making too much of a difference whether I have one pistol or two, and at least with two I can occasionally execute. Alright, well, let's just put it on for now. Okay, use my health potion, pet. How many potions do I have? I have 17. I'm doing pretty good with potions. Okay. Ooh, requires focus 12. Ah, I need one more focus. Okay, pet. Take that. Take all that. Go home for now.
Pet has departed.
Alright, sorry about that. Accidentally I got myself tabbed out and I don't know how it affected the recording, so I went ahead and played it safe and started a new segment there. See, this is interesting. I'm doing 9, 12, and 1s, and then a 4, and then occasionally I do a crit for a bunch. See, crit for 70. My damage range is highly inconsistent. I'm supposedly doing 30 to 60 on one hand, and I'm not even seeing that. I don't know if it's because my level is still low compared to these guys. I'm 9. I should be around 11 or so. My glaive is doing the damage it should be doing, and that's based off of my weapon damage. So why does my weapon itself do so little damage? Even when I have a full charge bar, it doesn't seem to be... Well, that blind seemed to work. $145 crit. Okay, I've got a full charge bar, or at least I did. That's right. Come into my field of destruction, as it were.
I'm wounded.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Lower his armor. See, now I'm doing decent armor. I think that might be what I have to do. I might have to just go in, rapid fire to take his armor down, and then I can start doing the damage that I want to do. That could be a mechanic that I'm having to deal with. Because without armor, I am really hurting them. That could be why the glaive works really well, too.
Your pet is badly wounded.
Wrong way, wrong way, wrong way.
I'm wounded.
Come on.
My mana is low.
I used a mana potion, get it back, come on. Ah, he keeps bringing back new ones. I think I'm gonna have to stop using the glaive and start using some different ammunition here. There we go. Now I'm seeing some damage. Phew.
Not enough mana.
So it looks like taking down their armor is really what I have to do.
Not enough mana.
Yes, I'm getting that. I understand that. Quit summoning these things. There. And of course there's a champion one of them.
I don't have enough mana. I'm wounded.
Yes, I am. Oh my, there's so many of these little things, and they keep reviving them.
I'm wounded. I don't have enough mana.
Die! Okay.
My mana is low.
One rune color, almost down.
Your pet has fled. Your pet is wounded.
I'm wounded. I'm wounded.
Oh my goodness. I did it. Why don't you die? Okay, that was a massive fight. You know, I'm only 3 levels under these things. Really, should that have been that big of a deal? I guess I just had it easy on my Berserker for 2 reasons. One, the Berserker does a lot of single target damage and has some really nice damage increasing abilities. For 2, I had 100 DPS weapons on my Berserker. Of course, I have a 61 here, which, you know, should be enough. Here's another 61, so I can actually double up on the 61, so let's just do that now. That'll make this a lot easier. 61 and 61. If I look at my character sheet, 30 to 60 is my damage range. Good. And see, that's only 66. That's massive, though. No. Alright. Okay, I'm not looking forward to fighting Grell, simply because it took me there like 5 minutes just to kill that little pissant, and on my engineer it took me 10 minutes. I looked at the timer. It took me 10 minutes to kill Grell on my engineer. Granted, again, that was on a higher difficulty level, but just look how long it took me this time for that character. Okay. Good. A level. A dead end. For all that, I hit a dead end. But I did find another secret zone. Off the grid. Very good. Another trap, huh? Ding 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 ding. It's like finding a treasure goblin. I love it. And it just takes me right back. That's cool. Very nice. Okay, what did I find? I could use a shield while using a one-handed pistol. It's not like it's a big deal right now. It's kind of neat. Just for this fight, I might do that. Hold on to the pistol. .50 damage per second, so not quite as much. Just has knockback on it, and it hits in a spread. I don't think so. What about you? 47 knockback, physical damage. It does have armor reduction per hit. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and sell that too. Go. Okay, so now I have to find the exit. So... Honestly, it's getting to the point where it's just not even worth to fire my bow or fire my guns and just run around with using my glaive as I get the mana for it. What do you do? Enchants item with ice, huh? No thanks. I had you do that to me last time with poison. Okay. I'm going to pause it here. I'm going to change up my spec a little bit, and then we're going to go to Growl. Alright, here's what I've got. In Warfare, I went ahead and stuck with Rapid Fire, since that seemed to be the one thing that was really helping me earlier, taking down their armor, so we'll use that. I'm going to stick with Rune Vault, although I've seen some rather inconsistencies, with that one. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. It seems like I don't know. It's like sometimes it'll move me in the opposite direction of the cursor like I expect it will, and then sometimes it really does just move me in the opposite direction of my character's facing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 skills. 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's see. Under lore, I put 4 points in the glaive. So this is one of the few abilities where I actually found putting points into it to be extremely useful. As I got the glaive, the point 1 gave me 2 bounces. Point 2 was still 2 bounces, but point 3 is 3 bounces, as you can see here, or point 4. Basically, it didn't go up in a linear fashion. It wasn't 1 point, it's 1 bounce. 2 points is 2 bounces. 3 points is 3 bounces, I had to put up to 4 to get the 3 bounces. So I probably had to get to point 6 to do 4 bounces, but unfortunately at this level I can only put 5 points in any one skill. So that's what I decided to do there. That way it'll bounce around a lot because I know he's got a lot of minions. I got the glaive sweep, which knocks everything back that's around me, so in case anything gets near me. And I got my charge mastery. It's not as high as it was before, and I also got, I went ahead and kept the blade pack to try and keep my traps down. So I'm going to see how that works out for me. Let's see how my sweep works. Okay, that's a pretty good arc and a pretty good range around me. Alright, so moving into this, I'm going to put some points in the vital, and I'll go ahead and put my strength and dex. Alright. So many of those ghosts chasing after me right now. That glaive really has a long range on what it hits. Back off. Alright, go back to my glaive while he's got some monsters up. Does 1 damage, but it reduces his armor, which is the important thing. These guys have shields, so that is really going to suck. Have a ton of range for a range class. Kind of wish I would have gone with a bow and arrow. That might have given me a little more range against this guy.
Your pet is badly.
Not enough mana.
Alright, time to play keep away again. That is a nice bounce on that glaive.
My mana is low.
Alright, let's use a mana potion. Oh, time to move. Moving, moving, moving. Long ride! Yeah. The glaive's knockback doesn't really work on him. See, this is very familiar as far as this honestly brings back memories of Diablo 2, because in that's another one where you pretty much were spamming potions to stay alive. Oh my goodness. Come on. Die, beastie. Go down! That's it! Be a good boy. Get away.
Completed the quest.
Ooh-wee. What did I get? Knockback resistance, chance to block. Wow, plus the damage shield. I need 32 strength for it, though. And, of course, Grell's command apparently drops every time. Ooh, unique trinket. The Girdle of Ludo. 20% increased magic find, that's nice. 10% increased experience gain, that's even better for a low-level character. Resistance to electric, fire, and ice. 6 on the poison. It's pretty good. 34 focus needed. Here's the symbols of the cross and circle sect. That's a pretty nice item, actually. Well, that was an interesting fight. It wasn't as bad as the engineer, but definitely wasn't as good as the berserker. Had fun with it, though, you know, doing my vaulting and switching up between my rapid fire and my glaive throw. Those were pretty much the cornerstone of my fight on that. The trap didn't really seem like it slowed them down a lot, so I put it down a few times, but I really did it for the physical armor reduction, to try and help me do some more damage while I'm kiting him around. So the sweep was useful every now and then, but it didn't work on Grell, unfortunately.
I don't know who you are.
You have my the alchemist must.
You have
Apparently things have gone from bad to worse.
Well,
while
let's
we were at the
see
wellspring.
what I get.
Whatever was making the Asterians sick is spreading, and it's moved out into the lands north of here. That's where the Grand Regent was headed.
Mana,
He's
focus,
already
and
reached
strength.
The watchwheel. He'll have sealed the
Seems
gates
to be the
with
best,
precaution,
but
which means that this plague's.
you have a new quest.
Alright, well, this is the end of Sunday, to be honest with you, and this beta is going to end. I don't think I'm going to be getting much further than this on any of my characters. I at least wanted to see how each of the characters played. Well, what do I think of the characters? The engineer surprised me because I really didn't know what to think of an engineer. I honestly wonder why they call him an engineer. Of course, they use very different names in this game for all of their classes. Engineer is kind of your heavy-hitting melee class. Your berserker's the fast, weapon user. The Outlander is your ranger kind of class, and then of course Ember Mage is a mage, but at least mage is in the title. The classes are all pretty good in their own ways. I'm really confused as to why my damage felt inconsistent with this Outlander class. I mean, I do kind of like the whole pistols and actually having guns in one of these action RPGs. That's kind of cool. But just my damage was not really was inconsistent compared to the other classes. I could reduce the enemy's armor and start putting out some major damage of my own. I think that's why the Berserker did really well. He ignores 25% armor all the time with his claws. So that's why his damage was pretty high. But still, I'm sitting there doing 1 in 15 and whatnot against these monsters, and they're just not dying. I had a huge fight there with that elite group, and this is just the beginning. I like the way some classes use their charge bar. I especially like how the Engineer does it, because his is kind of a combo bar. The Berserker, when you augment it, can be really interesting because you can really get it going for quite a while, and he gains it fast. What I like about the class I like the most so far is the Berserker, even though his charge bar isn't as unique as the Engineer's, but I like it because he has the movement abilities. I guess I would say, if it weren't for the damage issues, my second would be the Outlander. This is kind of like, again, it's kind of mirroring what I liked in Diablo 3. The movement abilities really piqued my interest. The being able to vault around, I've got abilities to knock people back when they get close. So the Outlander, if I could figure out why my damage was so inconsistent, would be a close second to the Berserker. What I like about the Engineer is, even though he's the typical two-handed bruiser, he does it in an atypical way. He uses the power armor, he does like his seismic slam into the ground using the armor's basically using the armor's force plus leaking a little bit of fuel to the ground to do the burn damage. So he's got some interesting abilities. That, and he can put down bots. That's what I kind of like about him. He can actually put down, like, I get a healing bot. I wanted to get the gun bot, but that's a little bit later, and I don't have enough time to really level him to get that. So all the classes, you know, are pretty cool in their own way. The Ember Mage was, you know, he's your mage. I like mages. I don't think he really did anything special compared to what I've seen of other mages. He had the ice, you know, the blizzard spell. He had a nice... I like the fact that he had a rapid fire fireball spell. That was very cool to me. Because you could just sit there and just tear apart, you know, groups of enemies just by doing this machine gun fireball burst. The game itself is good, but again, these inconsistencies such as being able to use items that I don't have the stats for, damages that are not showing up as consistent, some issues that I'd like to see resolved there. The random system has failed me on a couple of occasions. Basically putting a fishing hole where I couldn't reach, putting a rock in the middle of my path that I needed to get to for the story. You know, this is beta though, so that being considered, they can probably iron those things out, and it's probably not going to be a big issue in the full game. Honestly, a lot of the things I'm running across are minor when you consider the price point too. I mean, I'm not saying that it's excusable. Just because your game is cheaper doesn't mean that you should have flaws, but it's not something I'm overly concerned about. I think they could get it to work, and it could just be there's quirks about it that I'm missing. I am rushing through to the Guardian. There's a lot of areas I haven't explored. I actually would like to be a higher level before I fight Grell, but you know, that fight, if Grell is any indication, I'm not too pleased with the way the boss fights are handled. I've seen this, and again, comparing to Diablo 3, where a boss fight can make me have to avoid things but still let me do damage. In this, with Grell, it's like I'm constantly running away, constantly, because he's doing nothing but calling in reinforcements, and I'm having to constantly kill those reinforcements. Now, this is just the first boss fight, and I haven't seen other boss fights, so take that with a grain of salt. That, while that's something I hope not to see in future, you know, in every single boss fight, it could just be that that's how Grell works. I'm just hoping that that's not what every boss fight consists of, because that, to me, honestly, would start to get a little old. Alright, so I pulled up some of the information about this game on the Wikia, and there were some things that they mentioned that I don't know if they're going to be in the full game. I haven't seen them here in the beta, but such things as time of day cycles and the weather effects. Well, I've seen it rain. I don't know if that's random. It's been pretty much consistent, really. The time of day might be affected by when you log on. I'm not sure on that. Or it could just cycle from day to night. Again, keep in mind, I'm only doing the beta content here, and I haven't even gotten past this enclave. This is just kind of the first town area. There very well could be a whole world out there I'm not getting to, and that I'm just not going to get to see, and it's kind of unfortunate. Having to blitz through this really... it's not like Diablo 3, where I could just sit there, spend a lot of time with the game, get to know it. It's a beta. This is honestly a stress test weekend for them. They want to make sure everything's working, and honestly the game's working fine for me, but then again, I'm making my own game and locking it. But I haven't been disconnected, and I haven't run into queue times or anything like that. You know, hopefully they got a good sample size. I know it's going to be really hard to compete, considering that Diablo 3 has a lot of people playing right now. So it's kind of hard to get people pulled away from there. But I do wish them the best of luck with this game. I really think there's a lot of potential here. I think they've really got something. I was actually really impressed with Torchlight, the original. Aside from the fact that it lacked multiplayer, it was a decent game. And it... I think they've got a good future ahead of them, you know, if they keep putting out the good content. And especially making it so that people don't have to pay through the nose to buy a game. Seriously, I mean, $20 honestly is probably low. They could have gotten away with probably 30, somewhere between 30 and 40, because most games in this market are 50 to 60, and you know, 30 to 40 makes it at least a half-price game, which, you know, is automatically going to get attention. You sell this for 20, And that could be what they're going for. They want people to say, oh my goodness, this is only 20 bucks, let's, get it. But then you have to be careful, because when you make a game very cheap, sometimes people look at it as like, well, it's only 20 bucks, that must be a budget title, that must not be very good. You have to be very careful. But I do wish them the best of success. They're doing a lot of things. The thing I'm noticing here is they're doing a lot of things that people wanted in Diablo 3 that Blizzard didn't want to do. Such as customizing the characters, keeping skill trees intact, permanence being an issue. These are things that Blizzard wanted to move away from. And they are systems that do have flaws. But the way Runic has done this game, those flaws have been severely reduced. The permanence one is still an issue with me, just because it ends at level 10, where you can do respecs, and you have to be level 42 to be able to see the final ability. The good news is I can put a bunch of points, single points, into all my abilities, and they'll all be kind of useful to me, and then I can just pick which ones I want to use. But then it means I've lost skill points to fully buff the ones that I want to buff. But there could be something down the line that I get to pay for a respec. I mean, this guy completely goes away after level 10. He's gone. But there may be something, another way to do it later, that you have to pay for it, or it comes at a price. So who knows? Well, that's it. This is honestly going to be the last video I've got for Torchlight 2. I'm not sure if I will end up getting it. I've gone back and forth on it, especially when I saw the deal that Steam had for getting Torchlight 1 as well. Now that Diablo 3 is out, that's kind of less of an issue for me now, because I've got that to go to now. But still, this is a good game, really, and those of you who like Torchlight, I think will really like Torchlight 2. Those who like action RPGs will like Torchlight 2. At least give it a look. You've got these videos, you can look up the game. Again, it's not that expensive. I think it might at least be worth your time to kind of take a look at it and see what you think. Okay, this has been Kagekaze, looking into the Torchlight 2 series, and hoping to do more stuff like this for other games as well. We'll really have to see how that goes into the future, but for now, I'm just happy to have been able to try this out. And again, to Runic, excellent job. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do with future titles. This is Kagekaze, signing out.